Okay, so it begins. Well, what begins, might you ask? I would say it is about officially time for the busy coin roll hunting's part of the year. Usually this time every year around the beginning of fall, more people engage in the activity of searching rolls from the bank in the hopes of finding some pretty neat stuff, whether it's silver, finding nice varieties, errors, double dies, repunchment marks, you name it. Okay, but I think one of the things that I get a lot of questions on are copper pennies. Okay, and a lot of it revolves around, is it worthwhile to pull these out of rolls and just kind of hoard them as if we're expecting them to be worth a ton of money in the future? Well, hopefully I could clear up some of that. A lot of you already know this, a lot of this information, but I'm going to go ahead and reiterate. First of all, we have to recognize copper pennies as, being only worth a penny. Okay, unless there's something magical about them. Okay, that they're a key date, or they're a double die of some sort, something really cool and spectacular. They're just a penny. Copper cents weigh 3.1 grams, and they weigh a whole lot more than its zinc counterparts. The cutoff is 1982, and this is where you gotta be careful, because 1982, all right, the U.S. Mint had produced varying degrees of different, not only copper 3.1 grams, but also zinc. And that goes for the 82 Philadelphias and the 82 Denvers. So there are one of either two ways that you could go about checking to see if you do have a copper cent. Okay, it's real simple. If it's a beater circulated, you take it and you just drop it on the table. If you drop a copper penny on the table, it's going to make a higher pitched ring. It's going to sound deeper, heavier than a zinc. In fact, the zinc sounds like a piece of plastic, once you flip it on the table. So that's the first way to do it. Okay, the more humane way of determining if you have a copper cent is simply weigh it. Now, there's going to be a little bit of tolerance. You might come across a copper cent that weighs 2.9, 3.2. They're all one and the same. Okay, some planchets are a little bit lighter weight than the others, but 3.1 is the U.S. Mint standard for its time. For the longest time of coin roll hunting, and we're going back 2 decades, I've always saved my copper cents. There was even a point in time around 2007 to 2010 where copper cents were worth about pretty gosh darn close to 3 cents a piece. All right, but they're worth 3 cents a piece. Does that mean that you could turn around and send it to a refiner at 3 cents a piece? In the United States, no. That's not possible, because there's no law enforcing the melting of any sort of copper pennies, cents, whatever you want to call it, here in the United States. It's a different story up in Canada. They can melt copper till they turn blue in the face. As you guys know, they stopped the production of copper cents all across the country, and oftentimes than not, the Royal Canadian Mint will ask for any pennies that come in through the banking system. So they're a little bit different situation up there. Since the cent has been demonetized from general commerce, that is exactly what's going on up there. As of right now, however, the U.S. Mint is still producing ungodly massive amounts of pennies, and that is the predominant reason why melting is not allowed of any copper. Now, silver and gold, you can melt silver and gold coins through a refiner real easy, because it's allowed in the United States. So that is something you could definitely do, if you come across them. However, the price of precious metals and industrial use metals have gone down quite a bit in the last few years. As a matter of fact, at today's prices, a copper cent is worth exactly 2 cents. So now you're asking me, so should I pull them aside or not? Well, I've accumulated a massive amount of copper cents to the point where I'm done. Now it's going to be a matter of what do I want to do with them. And I'm not going to tell you yes or no. Right now, for me, I'm not, because it's just not something that I believe is going to return a huge amount of money. You could save $500 face in copper cents if you were able to one day sell them for exactly 2 cents. All right, you could certainly do so, double your money, but we're talking about hauling around $500 face in pennies, which is really heavy. Really heavy. And then you gotta throw it in the car. You gotta drive to the refiner. They charge you a fee. You might net out $300. It's kind of hard to say. In the grand scheme of things, it's probably not worthwhile at all to save copper cents. But people do it because it's neat. You know, it's part of an era that's gone by 35 years ago. Believe it or not, it's been 35 years to this day that the U.S. Mint has discontinued the use of copper because of how expensive it got. So I hope this clears things up quite a bit. And, again, it's all part of the coin roll hunting aspect and the fun and the excitement is that, you come across these really old coins that are, 30, 40, 50 years old, and it really tells a lot of history just by looking at it. What happened in 1964? Well, a lot happened. Okay. Kennedy was mourned in the loss at the time, so that was like the big thing at that point in time. But you guys enjoy coin roll hunting. I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos outlining beginning coin roll hunting for those of you that want to get into coin collecting in general, because I've said it all along, and a ton of other people will agree that coin roll hunting is the most affordable way of getting into coin collecting. You could find lots of neat stuff, and a lot of valuable ones at that. So if you guys like the content, go ahead and hit the like button. As always, thank you for joining. Don't forget to sub in if you haven't done so yet. We're going to be talking about lots of coin stuff that you are bound to enjoy. Thanks again for watching. Have a great evening. Take care, guys.